Greetings and welcome to Shadowstar. I am the Renegade Richard and this is Star Trek Online Starship Review, and in specific this is the Starship Stats Review or Functional Review. I now split my reviews into two different videos. This one will be going over the Starship stats and take a look at the ship in combat itself, to take a look at how the console performs as well as it as a whole. And I will be scoring the ship around that premise. There is also another one which we'll cover for you engineers and Starship designers, the Starship Visual Review. So if you wish to look for that, well, there's a link at the end of this video and in its description. That way you'll be able to go and see that one too. Now, with this being said, for those commanding officers aboard and those engineers looking to have a first look at this ship's potential, we should introduce the ship. But before I do that, I also need to state a massive thank you to the donator Negus, who has donated £50 and actually made this review video, as well as the others coming to do with the new ships and the new sort of batch bundle that's been released with Discovery ships, possible. A massive thanks to you, Negus. You made this whole set of videos possible, and I seriously can't show you my appreciation well enough. I have taken note of your favourite ship, and when we get to reviewing that Pacific ship, the ship is named the USS Negus in tribute. I hope you don't mind. Now, with that being said, may I introduce the USS Gagarin, NCC 1309. Though technically this specific one should be saying 1309 A, B, C, D. You get my point? For those of you wishing to see the Shepherd class in its full beauty, do not worry. You will be able to see her in combat as we display the ship's actual combat potential. But right now, as we go over the stats, here we have the beautiful Gagarin. Time to take you out, Doc, and we'll go over stats. Now, the simplest thing to add is that this ship is one of those ships which really takes an aesthetic idea and it expands and explodes upon it. She has a weak spot, but she has her strengths as well. So we should begin with stating that this ship is a Battlecruiser type ship. So as you will guess, she has got slightly higher defenses, great offensive potential, and she does, however, lack the standard maneuverability of combat-ready ships that you find within STO. However, we can expand upon this a little bit better. Excuse me. Because she is a miracle worker battlecruiser, which probably already sings to a lot of you people, that she has got miracle worker positions and therefore is a good regenerator, plus the ability of increasing DPS output or support roles are still there with her. So she's good, and she will have some flexibility to her if you know what you're doing. Excuse me, I'm so sorry, a bit of a cold at the moment. So the ship in sight right now is the Gagarin class. She does have an additional skin of the Shepherd class that you will see later. She is a tier 6 ship available to you for 3,000 Zenny. However, I'm going to state right now that if you have the potential of getting the full pack, as I have ended up doing thanks to the donator Negus, then I would definitely say go for the full pack, as there is additions you get with it which are absolutely amazing. Some of the other consoles from the other ships are spectacular, and they will strengthen this ship as a result, which is a good thing to keep in mind. Excuse me. Now, to continue on a little bit sharply, this is a cruiser, but being a battlecruiser, you're probably expecting slightly lighter armor. However, fundamentally, you'd have said a battlecruiser is going to have heavier armor than a cruiser. Unfortunately, this is not the case. She is slightly weaker in armor than most cruisers, but she's average for your standard battlecruiser, with a level 50 hull rating of 43,125, and level 65 that will be increased to 56,250. Not bad as a battlecruiser. She does well there and balances well against a ship like the Arbiter. Her hull modifier is 1.25 and shield modifier is 0.95, meaning that this ship is definitely taking the more hull tanky approach. Shield tanks, don't worry too much, but I am going to say right now that this ship isn't in the line to be a good shield tank. The fleet variation of this ship as well suffers and will not be doing shield tanking too much, as the fleet variation actually bolsters tactical more than it bolsters science. As we continue on, you're going to see why this is an issue. The turn rate of this ship is 7.5, making a very good and average turn rate, and I've got to say I am not against it, especially since I have been shown the stats of a certain friend of mine who wishes to remain anonymous, who has boosted that rating well up into the pilot escort regions of turn rate, meaning this ship is really spectacular when it comes to actual maneuverable potential. The only issue is you are going to be sacrificing a lot of defense in the process, and as my friend put it, this ship turns into a very DPS role as a result. Its inertia and impulse modifier, well, the impulse modifier is 0.15, keeping a fairly average balance there, and an inertia of 50 means that it is fairly useful for the ship to keep enemies in that forward arc, and she will have a good rolling potential to do so. Lord knows I certainly won't be complaining myself trying to keep enemies in that arc. Excuse me. Her bonus power modifiers are extremely strong, however, and I must say, with a bonus power modifier of 30 in total, it is being quite friendly. Plus 15 to weapons, plus 5 to shields, and plus 10 to engines. As you can see, this ship is not really taking that shield front, but focusing a lot of its potential on its offensive power and maneuverability. Yeah, you're a battlecruiser. That makes sense to me. You're going to want to be more battle ready. For the process of balancing game, the lack of defense to give you offensive maneuverability makes sense. She is holding a very good middle ground between cruisers and escorts at the moment, and I've got to respect that. But that middle ground is going to be blown away in a second. Her weapon stats is 5 forward, 3 aft. Those of you using raiders and pilots ships will know that that is fairly standard for them, but they have a lot higher maneuverability and a lot weaker hull, meaning they are the much more run and gun types. There is someone here. Hello. Going forward on this statement, this ship has actually got some really beautiful bridge officer positions, with a Lieutenant Commander Tactical and a Lieutenant Tactical Miracle Worker station. You've already beginning the flexibility of this ship to actually extend past the average role of the ship and take on a different front. The commander position is the Commander Engineering Miracle Worker. I will show you in a minute mine. I've actually very much laxed my science provisions on this ship to turn this ship into a more of a regen DPS rather than a DPS support like I would normally have. However, I do still have the potential to heal my allies, so I'm in balance-ish, but not great. Next bridge officer position is the science, of course, and that is only an ensign. This is what I mean by the ship suffers in the science category. Unlike the other ships that we've seen up to now, the Crossfield and the Walker class, which have great scientific potential, this ship suffers from a lack of scientific potential. However, it does have a Lieutenant Commander universal position, so you can give this ship more science stats, and if you know what you're doing, you can begin to bolster the science side of things and take your support role, healer, drain, control expert. You can sort of take on those roles, but you've got to remember what you're doing with them. Get your traits right, get your consoles right. Speaking of consoles, excuse me, this ship has 5 engineering, 3 tactical, and 2 science. For console positions, this is a very average build, what you'd expect to see on a Battlecruiser, I would say. Probably have expected 1 more position on tactical, but hey, this ship has a 4th console type, the universal console type, as seen on other Miracle Worker ships. Now, if you don't know right now, that is an extremely strong function there, because right now you can make your science up to 3, and that is where you'll begin to pull the ship back into the support role, back into the healer, back into being a tanky protector. But you can also shunt that onto your engineering and turn this ship into a psycho tank, making it one of the most powerful hull tanks or shield tanks, depending on how you go for it, out there. Unfortunately, shield tank, it is always going to be lax, so when I say most powerful, that's kind of a lie. She'll never be the most powerful shield tank, it's not possible. But she can be very, very dangerous as a normal tank. But putting the build right, I'm pretty sure it's safe to make this tank almost seem like a god among Titan tanks, and simply she's not going to want to go down. I'm already on the urge of saying that this is a tank Titan. She's going to be absolutely amazing at the role, especially with the right traits, the right consoles. It's going to be a nightmare trying to kill this ship, despite its hull. Whew. It's a little bit worrying. The only ship that I can say would be a better tank Titan than her is the Miracle Worker engineering ship. And that's scary to say. Now, to keep on going, this ship has definitely got potential in the DPS run, as you can probably guess, based on the 5 and 3 on its weapons, possibility of 4 tactical consoles, and a good set for tactical positions without the universal. This ship's DPS potential is up there in the kings, so she's definitely one of the queens of DPS, and I'm going to definitely say that for DPS players she's a good choice, just like for tank players she's a good choice. Support players, those of you taking the more scientific role, if you're a science captain, then yes, by all means, you're going to be able to get good potential out of her. If you're a tactical trying to take on that science role, I'm not 100% why you would, but then again, I'm a tactical using a support role, so I can't talk. You're going to have more difficulty, and you're going to need to know what you're doing to build the ship. Engineers, well, safe to say right now, you're going to find it both easy and difficult. Taking on support roles, you're going to find your drain and control is weak, but you will find your ability to regen and heal your allies, keep them in the fight, strong. So see how you balance out with what you do. Now, the ship does have the special console of refracting energy shunt, and has the innovation effect for the traits, with its also secondary abilities. I should add here, and I will drop the screen cutoff for you, of the Miracle Worker ability usage. In this case, I would require 1 tactical and 2 science positions to be used, or 2 science bridge officer abilities to be used to enable me to use Ignatius solutions. Not bad. But as you can probably guess from looking at her, I haven't really gone with the... One of my abilities are missing. I haven't really gone with the tactical... Sorry, the normal support tactical I have. But instead gone for a more regen / increased DPS output where I can, using the Miracle Worker front. This is kind of balanced in there because of the abilities this ship has. Starting off with the console, and this console is absolutely brilliant on the passive front. However, its active front not so great. The console itself, refracting energy shunt, will give you a plus 15.2 power transfer rate. For those who don't know, DPS or healers or tanks, you're going to find power transfer rate is important. So it's very easy for me to put this out there right now. Almost all of you watching are going to find power transfer rate important to you. And with 15.2%, that is a damn good percentage. It is actually among some of the best. You do have certain consoles like the reinforced augmentation. This one is massively powerful, and with the right RCS accelerator, you can get 100%, which is going to make it really powerful. Probably kind of null and voids that, but as you can see, I'm still using that console despite having these two there. I haven't felt the need to drop either of these out. This is mostly because my ship is taking that healing front, but it comes heavily unuseful, unfortunately. So it's worth bearing in mind that 15.2. But what really counts for this console is the 17.1 Starship Engineering Readiness. Now, position readiness is an important front. It's become very important with recent builds. Speeding up the usage of your abilities is a paramount must to get the absolute most out of any tank, any regenerator, any healer, any drainer, any DPS type. You need to be able to get those abilities off to spike the damage and get it going as quickly as possible. Engineering readiness, well, I'm going to be frank, this is why this console is kind of weird. Because personally, this console is more for support or engineering roles such as you tanks. However, the refracting energy shunt will help you tanks to build threat yourself and does deal good additional damage. I say good, average additional damage. With a refracting proton damage and power drain, this ship deals 7,200, or sorry, this console will deal 7,235.6 proton damage and minus 35.8 to all power levels for 10 seconds. This is going to be significant on your opposition ships. Those of you doing PvP will probably find this more useful in the power drain front. But then, let's be honest guys, if you're a PvPer where you already know that you're restoring power levels so damn quickly that is kind of insignificant. However, we also all know that electrical damage is a beauty right now. And with 394 electrical damage every second for 10 seconds, not bad. I'm definitely going to give that a high score on its front there. To score the console on its own, I would definitely place the console as an 8 out of 10. Only because I would buff one of its 3 main points. Any of them would do, just a little bit of a buff, because at the moment it feels like it's being held at the weaker end from trying to make it not too powerful. Excuse me. We all know why that is as well, don't we guys? We also have the trait from this ship. Now this is why getting this ship to mastery is a absolute must really. The intertwined tactical matrices. links energy and torpedo firing modes together. So, as you can see, as a support player, support DPS, I naturally tend to use singular heavy hit techniques, such as the beam overload. This means I don't have the ability to hit heavy numbers. DPS players, you know exactly what I'm talking about here, because the standard DPS build is going to be going for heavy targets. You want as many targets hit as possible, dealing as much damage to as many people. Well, this trait is going to make that really helpful, and also give you DPSs the ability to go for a heavier hit attack to hit the more flagship based ships with higher hull, higher strength, harder to take down, rather than going for numerical superiority in damage. So essentially speaking, this, when you activate a torpedo spread, it will also apply beam fire at will and scatter volley to you, which is absolutely magnificent. That means you're now getting spread and fire at will rather than just one. Also, when activating fire at will or scatter volley, it will apply torpedo spread. So this is, again, brilliant, because now you can hit multiple massive targets all in one go. It is an excellent go-to there. For my type of players, support DPSs, you will know right now that you are targeting the flagship primarily. The idea of a support DPS is, unlike DPS who goes after all the targets, support DPS is going after the one doing the dangerous damage to the escorts that can't take as much damage. Where a tank aims to hold all the threat generation and have everyone focused on him, a support DPS aims to remove the threat in general. So, if you say the Folian Red Alert, I immediately go after those down Tarantula Dreadnoughts. Where everyone else is taking down the little ones, I'm trying to get that big one out of the fight. And that is essentially the role of the support DPS. That means normally we can't hit multiple targets. We suffer when it comes to hitting the swarm. A swarm of Herc rips us apart. It's terrible. Well, now we don't have to worry so much. We can have one of the two, like I have torpedo spread, and now I've got fire at will and scatter volley, which is going to make me unbelievably stronger in a fight, and is absolutely magnificent to see. I can't wait to have this trait unlocked. It's simple as that. It is safe to say that I can score the ship quite highly. Honestly, I think I would score, as a DPS, I would score this ship quite easily. Yeah, I'm going to score it highly, and this is not biasness because I love the Shepherd class. I'm dying for it. I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10 as a DPS ship. She can, when built primarily for the DPS role, do it perfectly. She knows how to do the role, and she can do it well. As a tank, can I say 11 out of 10? No, I can't. But I'm going to have to give the tank role 10 out of 10 as well. She is a brilliant hull tank. Yes, she can't shield tank. Maybe I should score down because of that. Because unlike with the DPS role, where this ship can be cannon, beam, dual beam, hybrid, it is, as a tank, she still can do everything. As a torpedo boat, she's going to be pretty damn good, I think. But there's another ship that I more drive torpedo boat with, but we'll go there later. It's safe to say that 10 out of 10 can be given to DPS roles and tank roles. Scientific roles, however, we're going to have to score down quite sharply, unfortunately. If you know what you're doing, as a science captain, you're going to be able to build this ship into a fairly above average science ship. But unfortunately, she lacks scientific potential, and as a result, cannot be scored highly there. I'm sorry, ship. I love you, but you're a 6 out of 10 in the scientific category. I would love to be scoring it higher, but hey, we can all see that this ship is definitely going towards a Pacific stance. However, I'm going to put a clause in here, because as a healing ship and as a regenerator, she is really good, so I will score 8 out of 10 for her there as a Pacific subcategory, purely because that is one sort of normal scientific role that she does well via Miracle Worker. Not bad. So far, I do definitely recommend this ship. For 3,000 Zen, she's worth it. I'm going to be blunt there. I would definitely consider, if I wasn't a reviewer and was looking at this ship as a ship for me to fly, I would definitely be considering her for my type. And I will strongly recommend her to any engineer, any tactical. Scientific players going for the DPS role, yes, you as well. I know you're out there. And you will make a brilliant build on that front. She's definitely strong in those roles. The only one I don't advise her for are those of you taking the more sit back and help from the background roles. I wouldn't really advise this ship for that. 9 out of 10 then, as an overall, I guess. Now, perhaps we should do as I said and take her into combat. Now, I did say, though, I would let you guys see the Shepherd. So we will be nice and show off the Shepherd in her glory. Hello, Cookie. Whoever you are. Also, I'm pretty sure I saw you earlier. So, JL, hello. Definitely I saw JL earlier, but I don't know if he followed my ship out. I wasn't paying too much attention for it. Right. Time to get the Shepherd class swapped out, and we'll take her into combat. See how she does. Or swapped in, should I say. JL, I did see you. There you are. Hang on. I am going to fly over to you. Hello, JL. This bastard. Look at him in that ship. You little bastard. I wish I got that ship. Right, time to dock. Now, a thing to add as we fly out in the Shepherd class, USS Gagarin, my words, you might as well be the Gagarin right now, is to note that this quantum slipstream we're currently using, well, it's not what you might be expecting it to be. See, this is the cylindrical quantum slipstream, making it slightly superior to others. It recharges a bit better and gives you a slightly better slipstream speed. I'm not gonna lie, I find that really useful as I do a lot of sector space flight, and it's safe to say that I wasn't entirely sure on how well that was gonna go for me. But hey, it works, so I'm not complaining. Right, so Gagarin. Gagarin, Miracle Worker, Battlecruiser. We're keeping the power levels balanced. As you can see, I have slight augmentation boost. This is due to my build that I use. Thankfully here, we have got actually a very easy use to use the Plasma Conduit Purge. We'll test out that output, shall we? But I'll do that when I really go into combat. Now, right now, oh, let's get your attention, Hideki. Here we are, they're firing us. They're firing well, but they're not doing the damage they need to do. Handling it well. Now my turn rate isn't quite up to scratch. She's doing well enough. Shall we have some fun? Perhaps we should unleash the entanglement. See what happens. Right. There's that. Got a good hit on them. Look at that damage. It's not over the top, but I'm not really going to complain too much. Let's begin an assault. We won't use our tactical abilities yet. You can just see how she does as a natural assault class. And I hope you enjoy the look of her build. Yoink. I don't think so somehow. Hey, I'm regenerating. You can sod right off. Oh! My natural need to hit the pox just kicked in there and I've gone procky. Okay, let's go hit wild. Whoa, the plasma burst happened by hitting that last one. That's why you gotta be careful when you time your plasma bursts. You can easily waste them. Oh, time your miracle worker ability. As I just wasted mine. Now then, let's move in on this one. Root our power. We're gonna go in nice and quick and we're gonna slam hard. See what happens. Alright, here we go. Oh, I'm taking damage.
Target shield has failed.
8 radiation damage, you little shit. Not bad. Not bad at all. Right. So we got Keldon and then we got Swarm ahead. And this one gonna be a little bit easy. Or a little bit evil, should I say. We're actually gonna go hard on the attack here. Whoops. Up we go. In a simple pass, we've done quite a devastating amount of damage.
Rear shield failing.
I'm sure they are. Oh, he's getting the protonic fleet out. He doesn't want to die, does he? Well, he hasn't got a choice.
Below 50%. 4 shields failing.
Here comes the additional swarm.
Rear shield failing.
The Barclay maneuver, kinetic damage. Now that's going to come in handy. Let's try and see if we can pull that off, shall we? One wave.
Left shield failing.
Maneuver around on you. I'll say one thing, this ship looks extremely fast and extremely nimble.
Target shield has failed.
Holy moly!
Hull integrity below.
And now they let the Barclay maneuver off. Whoa! Holy Walker! Screw you, Barclay maneuver. Oh, it's safe to say this ship scores extremely highly with me. She's a beauty in battle. Damn it! Well, goddamn, girl, you do your job and you do your job well. Certainly won't be complaining about her. Battle score? A little bit low to what I was expecting, so 8 out of 10. Whew, I'm liking this ship. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I'm going to be flying definitely a lot to see how well she does. Let's take her into actual dock now, though. We should take her back to dock, and we'll have a look at the final part before I give my final summary on her. My final score. So the last thing we have to look at is her customization. For those of you who want a more in-depth look at the ship, for visuals, don't worry, there is a video for that. I'll be doing it in the 2 separates for Gagarin and Shepard, so just look out for the links for either one of them. But with that being said, this Gagarin Miracle Worker Battlecruiser gives you 2 templates to use, like I just said, the Gagarin and the Shepard. She has a special interior of the Walker class interior, which is very nice to see. I do like it. And along with the Shepard windows, which are basically non-existent from what I can tell, you also have a further 7 types to add to that. With type 0 being the most unusual to me. And there's unusual escape pods too. I kind of like it. As far as materials go for the hull, you've got your 5 Discovery era types, your NX and NX refit type, the Blessed 10 normal types that you get, and then your veteran and upgrade available to this ship. So you are pretty spoiled for choice, and I'm not gonna lie, a lot of these hull aesthetics, for example, one of my favorites, Type 5, looks absolutely gorgeous on the ship. I used to use this on the NX class, so well, there you go, NX on the NX. Oh, sorry, NX on the Shepherd, which might as well be the next level of NX if you think about it. Design-wise, with the Stellards going back here and the shit. Well, safe to say she is got the aesthetic choices. And you can get a little bit customizable. So you can always change the hull and saucer combined together between the two types. Change the stallions if you wish. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like the Shepherd works on no matter what design you put it onto. And then you can change the nacelles. Not sure you'd want the Gagarin nacelles on the Shepherd as a whole, but some of you might think that looks pretty good. And personally, I think it looks like it's been overkilled. Mind you, that looks kind of good, and I feel like the ship should have been upside down. Oh, right, the Shepherd class and the Walker class are similar designs to each other. And one was sort of a scrapped concept for the original. Yay! Why didn't you go with this one? Oh, god damn it. My complaints aside, of course, is giving you plenty of choice, and of course you have all the standard patterns available to you, along with some special types that you don't necessarily get with every ship. So she has plenty of diversity in her customization. And I feel fitting because I'm not sure how they would manage to do saucer and hull separately. So there's no way I'm going to be one of the ones complaining about the design. It is pretty safe to say that I love what STO has done with this ship. It is really, really beautifully done. A great miracle worker Battlecruiser. Definitely long waited for. Since Miracle Work has been introduced, we've needed the Battlecruiser variant. I swear, it's been a must to get. I'm so glad to see the ship finally here. I'm so glad to have the Gagarin finally in game. I've been dying to get my hands on it. Overall score, final score, I'm going to give it 9 out of 10. And I'm going to be very blunt with you guys. I heavily recommend this ship for almost all player bases. The only ones I won't be recommending it to are those that are trying to go with the more scientific role who aren't already a science officer. If you're an engineer or a tactical trying to have a ship build for a scientific role, well then again, why aren't you looking at the Vesta class or the Crossfield? And also, wow, that was sharp of me. Also, this ship isn't going to be too fitted to you. However, for anyone taking on the other roles and those who make great use of Miracle Worker potential, this ship is a must really for you, and I strongly recommend going out your way to get it if you can afford it. Quotas there on if you can afford it. But with that being said, I'm going to thank you for watching. Once again, massive thank you to the donator Negus who made this video possible. And until next time, I hope you will possibly hit the subscribe and ring the notification bell. That way you'll stay up to date on my future videos. And maybe if you wish to support me, much like Negus has, you can either use the same tab that they used, which is in the description below, or you can follow me on Patreon. But with that being said, live long. Oh, and to break that up, engage. Live long and prosper, my friends.